America, home of the Whopper, cheeseburger, and French fry potatoes. So I'm gonna go to Burger King. I'm gonna get myself a burger, some French fry potatoes, and a Coke. I don't care if it's Sprite or Pepsi. I'm gonna call it a Coke. All right, so heading east just of downtown Boulder. Pearl Street's like a mile that way. So we're in the kind of the newer development, Central Boulder, 28th Street, near the 29th Street Mall, where the fast food restaurants are. I'm gonna go to Burger King. I'm gonna go to Burger King. I'm gonna get the new Impossible Burger. I'm gonna ask for it without mayonnaise and hope that it's egg-free, dairy-free, vegan, plant-based burger. Really excited to try this out. The Whopper. I think maybe it's cooked on a separate grill. We'll see. We'll see if it is. And show you how it tastes. But yeah, it's funny because across the street here, I've actually gone to fast food, McDonald's and Burger King more often in Europe and Asia rather than the US. And I've probably had cheeseburgers maybe less than 5 times in my whole life. Growing up as a vegetarian, I did try real meat cheeseburgers and burgers. Never had a McDonald's one. I just had an In-N-Out once at spring break in college and found it was really greasy. So it's interesting to see these alternatives coming up in mainstream menus in the US. And the thing that sparked this idea was that I saw online on the news that McDonald's, only the McDonald's in Ontario, Canada, were gonna have the competitor, the Beyond Meat burgers. They were doing a test run of their sandwiches, fortunately only in Canada, but to see this in the US, mainstream America, at the big fast food restaurant giants, really exciting, and we'll go check it out. Burger King, McDonald's, Burger King, McDonald's, Burger King, McDonald's, and a Pizza Hut. There it is. All right, so at the 28th Street over there, downtown Boulder, Colorado. Let's see what we got. Hey, how's it going? Could I get this Impossible Whopper without mayonnaise on it? Is it dairy free then, or?
Yes.
Egg free. Okay, thanks. Do you know if it's cooked on like a separate cooking process, like a grill? All right, so there it is, Impossible Whopper. Got some ketchup, some French fried potatoes. Sorry, and a small Coke. It was actually Coca-Cola, none of that Pepsi stuff that they have at Taco Bell. All right, let's dig in. Need some ketchup, I think. All right, so it's actually not too greasy. Definitely could use some ketchup on there. Didn't get it with the mayonnaise to make it vegan, dairy-free. Not sure what they cooked it on exactly. Hopefully a separate type of grill thing. And French fries are actually vegetarian at Burger King. They're not cooked in lard. Looked that up. Oh, there's some ketchup on there, I guess. See some of the detail there. I actually don't like it to resemble or taste too much like real meat, because I don't really like the taste of real beef, but it seems somewhat similar. I have a really bad comparison given my life history, but definitely this is a $10 meal here. The small Coke and small French fries. More expensive than I thought it would be, actually. All right, so I just walked back from Burger King. My stomach, it's gonna take a while to settle a little. It was a pretty high-fat meal for me. I'm not used to eating so much fat. It is less than, of course, eating regular beef, but you know, the ingredients list, I think it's using either soy protein. They do something tricky with the heme protein to make it like the texture and taste of beef, and that's one of the tricks with Impossible Burger. There's a bit of oil in it. It's not a Whole Foods type of vegan meal where you would have, maybe a bean burger, black bean burger, lentil burger, which would generally be a lot more healthy for you. But it's a step in the right direction. Because you're not getting in the cholesterol. You don't need cholesterol. One of the myths of people are like, oh, Sage, you're not going to build up your testosterone because you don't eat cholesterol. Well, your body makes its own cholesterol. And yeah, cholesterol is important for a lot of things like the formation of testosterone and a bunch of different chemical pathways, but obviously don't need it been doing well on a plant-based diet and as a vegetarian my whole life. Not worried about the protein either. Am worried about eating too much fat sometimes, because with excess fat comes excess calories, and that's what causes a lot of people to gain weight, as well as the double whammy of eating a high-fat meal with high refined sugar. So me drinking the Coke, obviously not very healthy. It's not something you'd want to do. That's something that I usually do a lot, because I'd rather just drink beer. But the refined sugar and Coke, a bunch of empty calories, but it's going to spike your insulin as the high fat clogs your insulin receptors, which is going to elevate your insulin. The sesame seed bun wasn't bad. It was not the highest of quality. And the interesting thing is it does cost $1 more than the regular beef patties. Of course, in the U.S., the government subsidizes things like dairy and gives a lot of benefits to the beef industry. It's billions of dollar industry in the U.S., so a little bias there. But it's great to see Burger King and McDonald's. Hopefully, if this test runs well in Canada, Canada with the Beyond Meat sandwiches, BLT. I think it's a mistake to call it a BLT, because you have to say, no, I don't want cheese on it to make it vegan, and then it sounds like this lame sandwich. Us vegans do like to eat burgers. We want to eat a burger. It doesn't have to taste or bleed like meat in my book, but for some people I think that's good, because they'll do Meatless Monday, reduce their consumption of beef, which of course is high in cholesterol, and directly linked with cooking things with cooking a lot of beef on frame. When you're grilling it, it's going to create a lot of carcinogens as well, right? That happens in the cooking process with other things as well, even some vegetables. But I digress there. Reducing our carbon footprint through diet is important, I think, because in America, per capita, we're one of the worst countries for carbon offset per capita, right? People always point to other countries, China, India, as big polluters, but there's a lot more people that live there. In the U.S. per capita, we pollute a lot, and I'm part of that. I'm part of that problem. I'm a total hypocrite there because I travel a lot, but if you look at carbon emissions in the U.S. in different sectors, the animal agriculture sector is about on par of emissions as the whole transportation sector. All the cars, all the trains, all the airplanes, that exhaust, the life cycle of raising a cow, especially for beef, and the slaughter process, the feed, the grain feed that goes to them, the packaging of beef, the whole process is fairly inefficient when you look at the data and the scientific numbers. So I'm just saying, with the carbon emissions footprint, beef is a very intensive sort of food, whereas when we get away from these animal-based patties and we talk about using plant-based foods or plant-based patterns, generally the efficiency is way higher. Not always, but generally it's way higher. And if you're changing your diet a lot, you're offsetting your carbon a lot. I truly believe that. I'm sure some of you are going to argue me on this, but the whole transportation sector, all the trains, planes, cars, equals the animal agriculture sector in the U.S. with the carbon footprint, the carbon emissions. Of course, methane being way more toxic that greenhouse gas compared to CO2. So it's my little rant here on this off-topic type of video today. Check out the Beyond Meat Burger. It's funny because, like I said before, I try Burger King and McDonald's in Asia and Europe, and there's way more vegetarian options there usually, and it's been like that for at least over the last year that I've gone there. Whereas in the U.S., we're starting to catch up, and I think if people start eating, especially less beef, they'll find that it can not only be healthier, it saves a lot of the animals and the suffering with factory farming, but it also helps reduce their carbon footprint, and that's really the key takeaway. Improve your health, enjoy good food still, but enjoy more wholesome fresh fruits and vegetables is generally the best. And definitely check back here for more actual running related content. Hope your running's going well. Hope your eating's going well. Stay tuned for more.